the coolest concept I think I've heard in a long time. I can't believe happening in Daytona Beach, Florida, which is awesome. I am a huge fan of collective wisdom. I think it's just the foundation. Everything has been tried and tested one time or another. I don't think you have anything new. And when we can get tap into the wisdom of those who have been there, and it's just such a blessing to be able to apply that to our ventures as we move forward. Has said, let's see, what do we have up here? Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Fit Fresh, but I'm going to be talking about a lot of things. I'll introduce myself. My name is John Ward. My background, educational background, I have a master's degree in cellular physiology, a master's degree in exercise science, and a PhD in psychology. So essentially I'm really out of whack. Everything that we do, we apply. I try to apply the psychology part of it. I believe that if you have a strong mind, that's the foundation of building everything. And so with that, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we do. I have a company called Boardroom Holdings, which holds a lot of my companies. Tag 360, Win Centers of America, Fit Fresh Direct, Physicians Alliance Group, Tag Elite Training, My 24. These are different companies that we are currently have an operation and so forth. But today, the first part of this presentation is going to be focused on Fit and Fresh Direct. So answering some of the questions that were, typically I see at a seminar like this. What problem does Fit and Fresh Direct solve? First of all, Fit and Fresh Direct is a gourmet food service. So what we do is we cook and we supply meals to people. They're cooked fresh daily, no additives, no preservatives. We're big believers in when it comes to food, quality, quantity, timing, and combining. So the problem that is solved was overcoming the challenges of healthy eating, which in America is a very difficult challenge. America just simply does not incentivize right behavior. Fast food, it looks good, it smells good, it tastes good, it's cheap, it's on every single street corner. Very, very difficult to overcome. And what we learned is content just was not sufficient. I would get up there and speak for years till I'm blue in the face about, you've got to understand, you want to eat food in its natural state. You want to, and finally I realized, you know what to eat. I mean, nobody raises their hand and says, is a Big Mac and fries good for me? You never hear that. So when I speak to people, I say, what's a good breakfast? Well, a good breakfast is, oatmeal, egg whites, fresh fruit. Okay. What's a good lunch? Oh, a salad with lean protein on it and vegetables. Great. What's a good supper? And they will repeat the same thing. So obviously I was saying, okay, you know what to eat. That's not the problem. The problem is overcoming the temptation and the desire and the convenience and the cost of the bad foods. And that's a very, very difficult challenge. It's challenging for adults. It's challenging for kids. It's now an easy babysitter. The child's crying, eat this. So we thought that's the America incentivizes wrong behavior. The other problem is time, cost, convenience, and taste. We knew we had to compete with that because we're serving something up that has to compete against the temptation of those foods. So when we said who is our target market, this is semi a joke because I know nobody can own everything, but our target market is really anyone who eats. And we like to say expand your pond, so no matter what you're planning. I was at a seminar here, it was Flaunt?
Yes.
Was it? Yeah, are they here by any chance? Oh. Okay, well, I'm going to leave that to myself. It's funny because when I say expand your pond, I was going to use them as an example for those of you who saw them. They had these bikes up on stage, very cool bikes. They were powered and so forth. And when I walked through the door, I said to myself, those are cool looking bikes, I'm going to buy two. I mean, I was sold, right? Then they told me they were powered. So I was like, well, I don't want one of those bikes because I don't go to the gym, so I can't ride a powered bike around and represent very well. My thing there is, what business are they in? And they would probably say the electric powered bike, market. I say you're in the transportation business. You're competing against skateboards, you're competing against bikes, you're competing against motorcycles. And so that's what we try to look at. And, like I said, I jokingly say anyone who eats, but that really is our target market. That's what we're going after. When we broke that down and said, how do we want to go to market? We said, what's the easiest thing? What's the low-hanging fruit for us? Well, the low-hanging fruit was simply what we call a one-to-many model. I don't want to go household to household to household and try to accumulate 5,000 customers. So we thought, how can we do that? Well, we happen to own a gym. So we have 7,000 members. So coming through our doors is already like-minded people. They're looking to lose weight. They're looking to feel better. They're looking to be more productive. So that was one of our, certainly one of our market directions. The second thing we did, because we have a company called Physicians Alliance Group, was we aligned with physicians. And what I mean by that is, if I know a physician, I have to make a relationship with him. If I make that relationship with him, he has 4,000 patients. But all I have to do is the one relationship. And then he's the #1 trusted health advisor on the planet, so he's going to put it out to his patients, and all of a sudden we have a nice inroad there that didn't require so much one-on-one contact. It also did a great thing for us because it added compliance to the program. When your doctor says you need to lose weight, you have type 2 diabetes, you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, it became very meaningful. The why reasoning for them entering into the program became very large. Let's see here. We met with Florida Healthcare. That was a surprise. Thank you, Jamie. But because as we were talking to them, they liked the program and so forth, and then they said, we have 400 people who work in this building, and we want to launch it to all of our facilities. So again, one meeting, massive customer base that we accumulated. And then, of course, not often do you get to go into your competitor, other fitness centers, and say, hey, we have something for you. But yet, we do. This is something we can put what we call a Fit and Fresh cooler in their facility, and it's not branded under Gold's Gym or anything, so we're really not competing with them. We're just supplying them a service. And they're buying into it. So that was another, again, one-to-many model. So that's what we've decided to go with and take that direction as far as capturing market share. Along with that, the competitor analysis. We did do that. Of course, we looked at the go-to-market look and feel that our competitors had going on. What did it look like? What did it feel like? We did an analysis of the cost, the delivery, the taste. The second to last line is my favorite, because what I want to know is friendliness, cleanliness, professionalism. That to me is the foundation of every single business. So if you're thinking of starting a business or you own a business, go back to the very fundamentals and make sure these things in a service-oriented business are in place. So we actually had the food delivered to us, and we would call on the phone. We wanted to know every aspect of whether we called on the phone, whether they delivered to us, whether we had an objection to something, how they answered it, customer service. So we identified that and ultimately came up with a scoring mechanism for the customer wow experience. Then we knew what we had to do to make ourselves, what's our unique differentiator? What do we do, why do we do it, and how do we do it better than anyone else? Our go-to-market strategy. I just say, Jamie. I don't know who all in here knows Jamie right here. If anybody approaches her after this and tries to steal her from me, I will kill you. No. She's brilliant. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in my years and years and years of business. I told Jamie I want this one-to-many model. How are we going to do that? Well, you need to schedule meetings with physicians groups. I kid you not, I was like, Jamie, would you stop scheduling me with physicians groups? I mean, it was just one after the other, after the other, after the other. She is just a rock star and totally took this on. And I mean, literally, if you want to hear our go-to-market strategy, you're going to have to hear it from her because I don't even know. I just said, Jamie, go to market. Here's some of the branding, the brand awareness that we created. We got some flyers over here. This is a cooler, actually, a real cooler that sits in Gold's Gym. That was a nice one because we do deliver the food fresh daily every day, which is a cost. And we thought, gosh, how convenient would it be and how nice would it be if we didn't have to deliver it? People could just grab and go. So this is our grab and go cooler. Gym members, they're getting ready to leave and they're like, oh my God, I didn't get lunch today. Oh, I want to grab a snack. Now we have people grabbing them for their families and so forth like that. So this was a good play. Here's what one of the meals looks like up here. So that's just some of our branding components. Obstacles and challenges, what we call unintended consequences. Every business has one. I'm sure if you own a business, you've faced these. We do what we call PDMI, plan, do, measure, and improve. The one thing we know for sure is you can't move anything if you don't do something. So we're a fire and adjust company. Fire, something goes a little astray, we're going to adjust immediately. Fire again, we're going to adjust again until we find what we're doing. So that's our plan, do, measure, and improve process there. The obstacles, it's funny because I started listing these. If you look at menu, recipes, kitchen, availability, cost, prepare fresh daily, delivery, that's our whole business. And I was like, oh my God, you know, some of the obstacles are this whole business. Now, I love that from one capacity because it sounds like a simple business to go to market with, and it's very, very difficult. So therefore, that's a good day. Because if it was really, really simple as it sounds, everybody would be doing it. But the menu, we decided we were going to be all things to everybody. Well, what do you want? We'll make it. How simple is that? Yeah. I mean, well, I would like the chicken, but without the this and the this, and can you add in a little pinch of this and do this? Sure we can. Oh my gosh, no we can't. So the menu was very difficult. Creating the recipes, as you know, consistency in anything is key. You've got to be consistent. So developing recipes that were scalable, repeatable, and so you were getting the same experience every time. Very difficult challenge for us. Kitchen availability. We were using a kitchen to save on cost. Am I speaking too quick? Because I have a lot to say today, so I'm sort of blowing through this. Kitchen availability. We were sharing a kitchen. Keep the cost down. Of course, we were cooking our food at 2 o'clock in the morning and to be delivered the next day and so forth like that. It worked great from a cost perspective, but as we started ramping up, the capacity just was not there, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Very, very big challenge for us. We looked into, well, we'll open up our own kitchen. Well, I've never opened up a kitchen before, and when I got the cost of opening up a kitchen, I'll probably never open a kitchen ever. So, very, very expensive to do so. It almost only made sense if we opened the kitchen and had a restaurant by day and a Fit and Fresh by night. Well, I am not a subject matter expert. I'm a subject matter expert on eating, not kitchen management. Prepare fresh daily. Again, sounds good on the surface. Whew. We put, in our cooler, we put fresh food daily. Well, if I miss inventory control, I'm throwing food out because fresh food does not sit in there for 3 weeks or a month like it does on the normal, the shelves that have preservatives and everything. So balancing that cost was very difficult. And then delivery. Delivery, same thing as the menu. Hi, I live in Eustis. Can you deliver me one meal on Wednesday? Absolutely. What was I thinking? By the time you drive to Eustis to deliver one meal, I just spent $12 to deliver an $8 meal. But, when you're trying to capture market share and you're an entrepreneur and you're go every different direction, you're like, do not turn that customer away. No, we got to get our word out there. Big mistake. So, what we did is we realized simplify. Make, a very short menu, but make it the best of the best. Deliver to areas that you can deliver to. Create distribution centers where you take all these meals to one spot and then you have a couple drivers go. And so we had to suffer those pains. Let's see, where do I want to go with this? What I was going to say is, now here's where Fit and Fresh is as we stand today. A lot of times in business, you've got to make very, very difficult decisions. And we came up with the fact that because our kitchen capacity is not there, so our delivery, everything pays a price, when you don't have the infrastructure to do what you're trying to do and to ramp up as what you're trying to do. So we actually put a halt to Fit and Fresh last night until we get our kitchen and a few other things in order. Because when we relaunch the company, it's got to be right. It's got to be, stellar. And it was funny because Jamie said to me last night, she's going, John, you do realize you're speaking tomorrow on Fit and Fresh. And I thought, great, this is perfect, because this is real. This is real life entrepreneurship. Guess what? You got to make tough decisions. Things happen. You've got to fire and adjust. And part of firing and adjusting here is, I wasn't going to put a Band-Aid on this. It's, okay, we're going to stop production right now. We're going to get it right, and then we're going to ramp in a big way. So if you do happen to go to fitfreshdirect.com, as of today, you're going to see, what does it say? That we're temporarily, yeah, we're having to adjust. Very, very difficult decision to make because we have a lot of families that rely on us for food. Now, we've talked to each one of them. Part of doing something like this is you've got to be honest. You've got to call the customers. You've got to tell them what the story is and let them know, exactly what you're doing and when you're going to be back in service and so forth like that. It was a hard decision, but I can tell you I woke up this morning with a very peaceful feeling. As a matter of fact, I texted Jamie. I said, Jamie, I am very much at peace with where we're at right now. So that tells me it was the right decision because we were both starting to pull our hair out over this project and we were like, this just doesn't feel right. This isn't how we do things. We want to be a Class A all the way. So that's where Fit and Fresh stands. So with that being said, I thought I would turn this into a couple different things. I hope nobody minds. Because the other thing is, my background, I moved to California when I was very young, and that's when my entrepreneurship started. I started washing cars, okay? Now, I've never worked for anybody in my life, and I'm washing this car, and I like to do things right. So when I dried the car, the owner came out, and he said, you missed a spot, and he threw the towel in my face, okay? That's when I knew I wasn't cut out to work for somebody. So I literally said, bye. I know that was mean, but I walked. So at the age of 18, I opened up my own car detailing shop. So I go into this high-rise building in California, Los Angeles, and I thought, okay, the guys next door are charging, I think they were charging like $79 for a car wash and detail. And I was like, that's absurd. Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm going to go in and charge $59 and just take them out. That was my immature mind. So I go in there, I charge $59. I wash like one car a day. I'm like, guys, you do know I charge less over here. And then it hit me, and I said, you know what, I have nothing to lose at this point because I wasn't going to be able to pay rent. I went in there, remember it like it was yesterday, $149 for a car wash. I'm wearing this nice shirt. I've got all this cool equipment now. Put them out of business in less than 6 months. Perceived value. These folks are rich. They're driving very nice cars. $79, $149, gotta be better, rock it. And that's when that was my whole, I like this entrepreneurship, I like to grow like that. So I started there. My family, we were fortunate, we were in the campground business. I came back, we built one campground into 2, into 3, into 4. We purchased restaurants. Believe it or not, I owned a Dairy Queen at one point. So yeah, Dairy Queen and Gold's Gym, job security. It's a beautiful thing. We did that, and I just really felt like, without sounding arrogant here, I felt like I was the guy who said, it's easy to make money. There's nothing I can't make money at. Just show it to me, I know how to make it. And we sold our campgrounds for very large sum of money. I was in charge of our whole family, my sister and her 5 kids, my parents, my family. And so I took that money and decided to invest it. And I knew nothing about investments, but I'm an all-in guy. So one of my dear friends, he had jets, he had houses everywhere, said, here, take my money and we don't ever have to work again. Do what you got to do with it. My attorney calls me over in Orlando. I'm really fast forwarding this. He sits me down. He looks me in the eye and says, John, I don't know how to tell you this, but you don't have a penny. You don't have one dime. And I'm like, excuse me? Yeah, I said the same thing. What? Turns out these guys were in a big Ponzi scheme. They had lost a lot of money. They took our money trying to, I guess, with Jason, you're going to know these words, right? Margin it. No, you'll know. So they margined it to the hilt, I guess, and then it got a margin call, and everything was taken. They went to prison for 15, one for 15 years, one for 20 years. But where did that leave me? Broke. I mean, flat broke. I had never been broke in my life. Didn't know what it felt like. Didn't even know what it was. And all of a sudden, we're putting our homes up for sale. And I had to drive back. The same drive back, to make the story worse, I'm driving over the big bridge here, coming back from Orlando, and I get a call from my sister, and she says my mom has cancer. So I was only like, okay, do I just turn right off this bridge right now? Or how do I deal with this? I was just completely overwhelmed. The story got worse because I decided to handle matters on my own, so I won't talk about that at the moment. That's next time. But anyway, I came back, and I was that person just going, I'm out. I'm shot. I don't know what to do anymore. And I woke up one morning and I was like, you know what, John? Your psychology degree, you talk about this, you preach it. I say every day is an opportunity or an obstacle. How are you going to wake up and how are you going to view today? And if you wake up every day and you're like, gosh, I'm just too tired, life is hard, well, your day is an obstacle. But if you simply change your mind to change your mind, and you say, you know what, today's an opportunity for me. I can do this. I will do this. I will go after it with confidence. To be confident, you've got to feel confident. To be successful, you've got to feel successful. You can't go out and say, I'm going to succeed at this job, but really not feel like you're going to succeed. That's a problem. And you certainly can't be afraid of failure. As we said before, if you're afraid of failing, you're going to do nothing. And I can assure you, if you do nothing, nothing will happen. So I literally woke up one morning and I said, nope, not doing it anymore. Today's my day. It's a new day, and I'm going to take control of it. I was letting my situation control me instead of me controlling the situation. So I gathered up some funds, very little. I literally walked into Gold's Gym, Ormond Beach, and I said, is this place for sale? And he said, well, no, it's not. And I said, let me convince you otherwise. And I worked a deal with him and purchased Gold's Gym, Ormond Beach. Not a penny to my name. Didn't know anything about the gym industry. Very shortly after that, I met a member there who had a very small business here in town, did about $200,000 in revenue. I purchased half of that company. We built that over probably about a 7-year period of time, 6-year period of time. It was a medical equipment company. We built that into a $100 million company. Believe it or not, now I had more money than I ever had before. But it was all based on one decision, one morning, to stop feeling sorry for myself, to stop making excuses, to stop blaming, to stop justifying wrong actions, and taking full control of my life. So that's what I did. And that went well. We ended up merging that company with another one. I ran it for 2 years as CEO. And then I decided to come back into the gym business because I just wanted to do what I love to do, what I'm passionate about now. The gym has never made money. We were doing $8,000 a month in personal training. We membership, I'll just give you the numbers. On a monthly basis, we did about $65,000 in revenue with about $65,100 in expenses. You do the math. You're not exactly eating filet mignon every night, but it was a hobby. Again, I was blessed enough to have made money again. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to look at this gym industry and apply the same fundamentals that are in every business. that must be into play. Today, our personal training does $80,000 a month. We're number 5 in the nation of Gold's Gyms. Gold's corporate calls us and says, "You're in Ormond Beach, Florida with 38,000 people. You want to tell me how you're doing what you're doing?" I'm like, "Absolutely, I'll tell you. Friendliness, cleanliness, professionalism. That's how we're doing what we're doing." So some of my lessons learned, well, I'm not going to spend time on this. Usually when I go into business or look at a business, if anybody wants this, shout out Jamie, she'll send it to you. These are what I look at: industry evaluation, financial evaluation criteria, operational evaluation criteria. At the end of the day, they may look difficult. They're very simple words up there that are fundamental to all business. The product, service, you see words up there. You see unmet needs, concept, risk, development, time frame, target identification, customer concentration, blah, blah, blah. But I really want to get back to the psychological. How much time do I have?
Say about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. I'll speak really, really fast. Sorry. I'm very passionate about. I love this group because it's us lifting each other up and making each other better. So I really want to be part of it. One of the ways to succeed, you got to start with self, and self is huge for me because if you succeed, in other words, the first thing you have to do from a psychological standpoint is take on self-responsibility. Not many people in America do that. They want to blame, they want to make excuses, they want to justify, and it's very easy to do, and it makes yourself feel better about yourself because it's not my fault. And here's the thing, the most empowering statement you can make today is self-responsibility. I take self-responsibility for where I've been, where I'm at, and where I'm going. Now, a lot of people think self-responsibility is, well, I don't want the self-responsibility because then I'm responsible. But it's very empowering knowing you now have the control to dictate your future. Okay, so you simply say, self-responsibility. I am taking self-responsibility for me, starting today. And what happens is that gives you the power to now have self-discipline or self-control. So if you have self-discipline, you're going to do the hard things. If you notice in life, everything worth doing is hard. Think back in your life, okay? Think back at the successes you've had and that you're most proud of. And then think what it took to get there. And tell me it wasn't hard. It's hard to get a good education. It's hard to raise great children. It's hard to have a successful marriage. It's hard to build a business. But those are the fundamental pillars of life, that make life worth everything. So, in order to do hard things, you've got to have self-discipline and self-control. In order to have self-discipline, you've got to take on self-responsibility. This is like a 3-month course that I'm shoving into one, so I hope I'm not confusing you. The beauty of it is when you take on self-responsibility and you start employing self-discipline in your life, guess what happens? Your self-esteem goes through the roof. Your confidence goes through the roof. So every morning when you wake up, I call it an emotional check. I check my emotions. Are they positive or negative? Am I waking up happy, fulfilled, joyful, more importantly, energetic, enthusiastic, passionate about what I do? Or am I waking up fear, anger, worry, stress, anxiety? You can't have both emotions at the same time. So you're one or the other. So figure out which one you are, and if you're on the negative emotional side, we've got to get you to a place where you wake up on the positive side. I use kids as an example. So if you have a son, anybody out here, a son, I'll use an example. How many of you wake them up for school in the morning, and they just pop out of bed, and they're like, "Mom, beautiful day today. Today is an opportunity. I get the chance to learn. I got collective wisdom. I got wisdom coming from my teacher. I'm going to better myself today. I'm going to be a better kid so I can be a better on." I haven't yet had anybody say that. Now, tell that same child, "Listen, Stevie, tomorrow we're going deep sea fishing." But the problem is, we got to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, he's up at 3 o'clock. Dad, we got to get up. We don't want to be late for the boat. We got to. Why? Because he's passionate about that. That's something. And as adults, we've got to find that. So whatever your purpose is, you were born on purpose with a purpose. And if you think about your purpose every day, that's going to give you the passion, the energy, the excitement, the enthusiasm that you're looking for to have an energetic life, therefore to have a successful life. That makes sense? Okay, just making sure. Let's see. So, the framework for a successful mind in your business, I would say to employ this. First of all, decide what it is you want. What's the vision? What's the destination? Okay? Use New York as an example. If I'm going to New York, there's multiple ways to get there. I can take a bike, I can take a train, I can take a boat, I can take a plane, I can take a car, I can walk. They all get me to the same place, some just more efficient than others. But you have to know your destination. You can't go on vacation, pack for vacation, book your flight, and go, not for sure where I'm going. So you've got to have the vision, okay? So first decide what it is you want. Second, determine what needs to be done to get there. What needs to happen? And here's the most important one. This is my favorite. You've got to resolve to pay the price, which means discipline, action. Too many times people say, I always say, it's what you want, who you are. Well, what do you want? I want to lose weight. Great, tell me why. I want more energy. I want to feel better. I want, I want better blood pressure. I want to have more energy. That's what you want. Now let's talk about who you are. Well, I eat donuts, and I eat, and I don't eat all the time. I drink, I smoke. Is what you want who you are? You have an option to now align what it is you want with who you are, or be happy with who you are. But don't play the game. We call it a say-do ratio. I'm sure some of you, I forget who coined that phrase. They were brilliant, whoever did. I don't know the author of it. Love it. Say-do ratio. I say I want this, but I do this every day. You want that ratio to be aligned. Okay, I'm almost done. The gap, this is the same thing. 90% of people, and this is a true study, they know what they want. They can define what they want, okay? Now, 25% actually know what needs to be done to get what they want. So 25% of the 90% can tell you, this is what needs to happen for me to reach my goal. 1 to 3% actually achieve it. So say, do ratio. 90% say, 1 to 3% do. That's pretty compelling to me, which is why most people work for the 1 to 3% of the doers. That's a true statement. So say, do, I don't want to go overboard now because now we're getting into the fundamentals of business. If you own a business, I'll leave it at this. Pipeline management, dashboards, that's key. We were talking, I'll give it very simple. If you have to talk to 10 people to get 5 people to show up, and of those 5 people, 3 of them actually buy, so you sort of get that, that's a pipeline.